Welcome back, guys. Let's continue with the creation of this chat room. We are here right now. We need to load some stuff, some images and table views there, but I don't have any participants right now, so I'm just gonna keep it that way. Plus, I'm gonna add a little bit of styling over here where I don't have a, not a styling, but I don't have a placeholder right now here, so I need to do some programmatic stuff there to add it. So I'm just gonna do that. So I'm gonna let me add all those images over here which needs to be shown. So all that assets I right now have for the images, I'm gonna include that. So right now, go to my documents. I just have some. There is something for all the failed cases. I'm gonna include right away. It's like a sad smiley if some things did not go well. Then I'm gonna add something called as when a group gets created. This is what I'm gonna show. Second one, and then also I need an image which will show that the creation of the chat room is. For that I need one more, like create chat room. I'm just going to add a create button over there. So I'm going to include all these. It's already included. I've included the main asset so that it's accessible everywhere. So after being included, let me go to the create chat room screen and to the view controller at least. Then let me set up all those images from the view controller. So create button and group the avatar image are two things. Create button already have dot set image. I'm going to image set the image which is going to be UI image. I don't need to point to the bundle right now, so I can just say I dot create dot chat room. I think that's the one. Let me just verify. Create chat room is the button. Yeah, that's perfect. And for normal or any cases, I'm just going to use that one. That's the image plus avatar group image. I'm going to set as the other one, which is called as the named IC groups is what it is. So I guess this should show up the buttons right now. Let's run. So see whether that's at least popping up right now. It's going to look prettier. What happened? Okay, that's because UI image, create image. At least this create image is going to be very much part of this view. So I'm gonna move that one, maybe delete it from there. I don't want this here because this is create is more specific for create chat room. I'm gonna include that as an asset. Assets. Create chat room. And then I'm gonna include that icon within this, so that will actually make us make some changes over here, because right now I need to have it with the bundle. Okay, let me just say UI image named IC create chat room. I guess it was chat room. Then bundle should be type of self, and this should be nil. And I see groups. I don't know whether it was group. That's the reason. Okay, that's the reason. It should be group. Again, two mistakes, two places. Maybe even this I made it as chat rooms. It should be fine now. Yeah, that was the reason. So it's looking better now. You have this button, which is, and then you have this. Let's add this placeholder right now, which is like again a trick can use. So two things we need to use there. First is that let's use the RX version. Even you can do it without RX, a normal version where you need to actually override some of the delegates of text field like did begin editing and did end editing and did change. These are the three things you need to do this trick. So I'm gonna use the RX way of it because that's easier for me. Plus, but you can even do it with your non-RX way. Okay, I got rid of UI kit. That's a mess. UI kit. Yeah, so binding, if you are doing it non-RX way, you need to get the event related to did begin editing first thing. That is, as soon as you start editing right now, if you go here editing, if you enter something, then it should stay there, but then it needs to have a placeholder, something like enter subject with a light text color like this is what I am expecting, enter subject or something. And as soon as I tap on it, this should get cleared if it is not this text. If it is that text, enter subject, if that is a text, as soon as I say begin edit, it should clear and then it should allow me to edit something. But the next time I come here, if it is not the placeholder, it should not clear it. That's what I'm trying to do here. So first thing, begin edit, I need to define a placeholder. What did I enter chatroom subject? So I'm gonna keep that as this is my placeholder text, enter chatroom subject. So I'm gonna do whatever I'm gonna do is firstly let me convert this as a driver, it's not a driver yet. So I'm gonna use the current text available subject text view dot rx dot text. This current text available, I'm converting that into a driver. So whatever I'm doing is on did begin edit, I'm capturing the current text which is there in that, and I'm gonna compare it with the subject text placeholder which I added now, like which is this one, enter chat room. If I see that this subject text placeholder which I passed and $0, which is this one is going to be an optional text, $0 is going to be an optional text, I'm just going to compare it with the subject placeholder. So if both are the same, I will allow it to pass through. If both are not the same, that means I have entered something which is not a text which is not a placeholder. So I am good to go there. So I can just say both are equal. Then if it is true, filter works like if something is true, it allows you to propagate the next signal. If it is not true, false means it does not allow you to move any further. So I can just use this. Now if I have this, then map, if both are equal, I allow the text to be cleared. That is the idea here. So I'm just saying map, and then I use the I use the subject text view. A little trick if you're interested. I'm going to clear the text, and I'm going to set the text color. Subject text view dot text color is going to be black because I need the color to be set to the black color, which is a normal entry color. Why is it giving an error? Because it's expecting a parameter here, because this is true or false. I don't need that because I'm already filtering and mapping. So okay, this is anyway a text which is coming over here. I'm ignoring that. I'm just using, if this condition is matching, it propagates the signal, which means placeholder and my current text are both the same. If that is the case, I'll just reset the subject text field value and set its color to this one, and then I can just do a drive and dispose by bag. It's Java's done. Bag I need to define. So that's the first thing we are doing. Even you can do this with the normal non-RX way where you do override the did begin editing part and then set this if both are not matching it conditional way. You can do that even. There's nothing stopping you from not using non-RX way. Private let bag. So at least you get to see the difference between both the approaches. It's just, this is more like a chaining approach, which I like, but then non-RX you can do. So this is done, first thing. So I have not set the placeholder yet. So let's do that so that we see what goes on. So I'm just going to say subject text view dot text is equal to the placeholder color, subject placeholder. And also I need to set its background color initially, like subject text view dot text color is going to be a light gray or something. I guess that's the color I have set, light gray, guess. So let's see what happens. Now I have set the text color. It should now show me here. See, enter chatroom subject light color, and as soon as I enter it, it's going to clear because I have entered something. I have not entered something, and it's the same placeholder text. Now if I type something, move out and come back, it's not going to clear because it's checking whether it's the same text. But if I, let's say, use the same text, it's going to clear always. I think I can copy paste. Yeah. So now if I go out, come back, it's going to clear it. So that's my idea of placeholder thing. That's done. Now things which we need to still do is, like I clear everything, come out, it should again reset the placeholder. That needs to happen, right? So let's do that. It should happen based on two criteria. It can happen based on did end editing or did change. These are the two events we need to capture. So you can capture those using your regular approach of implementing your delegates for this text view, but I'm gonna again use RX way, where I am gonna capture a couple of delegates which is available through RX, which is again the same delegates, did end editing. I'm gonna map it to empty. I don't need any value coming from this, so I'm gonna map it to empty. And first thing is that. The second one is merge, is like it will propagate signal even if it is coming from two places. It's like either this or that. I'm fine with this signal or that signal. So even if it is like did end editing happens, it's going to trigger this, or even if it is like, what is the other one, did change, even that is going to give you a signal. Subject text view dot rx dot did change is what I'm going to capture. Again map it. I'm gonna again send an empty, so that both are the same kind of merge, so it's not giving me an error. Maybe that did end editing might give you a bool or something, and this one might not give you. So both of the signals are different, so I'm just making it common by sending an empty void signal so that I can merge both of it. So for merging, the signal type should be the same. Here it is void, so I'm just combining those two and making it a driver. If there is nothing, I'm gonna drive with nothing, and then I'm gonna start doing the regular way. Like whatever I'm gonna do is I'm going to do a reset. Like whatever you are doing is, let's say I'm here, I was here, I cleared everything, I go out, it should reset all those placeholders back. So that's the change and did end editing does. Like as soon as I move out, it's going to fire any of that event. And because I have not reset everything, I need to check whether there is any content here or not. If there is any content, then I'm not going to reset it. If it is placeholder, then we don't need to do anything. If it is empty, then I need to replace the placeholder value plus reset the color back to the gray color. So that's what we're going to do. I'm gonna create a function reset text view extension, create chatroom view controller, private function I'm gonna call reset text view, and I'm just gonna check subject text view dot text dot count equals 0. Then that means nothing is there within that text view. I'm just going to say text should be the placeholder text, place subject placeholder, and subject text view dot text color should be the gray color dot light gray color. And finally I think I should say subject text view dot resign first responder. So it gives the control back to the other one. So this is what I'm gonna call here reset text view. Yeah, that's enough. You don't need to do all the stuff there. Reset text view is done. And then drive and dispose. Guess this should be enough. My watch is causing okay, this should look fine. So let's see what goes on. It should clear it now as soon as I move out of it. So it should reset everything. That's what should happen. Go here, resets, enter something, does not reset, clear everything, it's already resetting. So this is what I wanted to do. It's pretty interesting. Now let's go with this is done. Now let's start with binding this to the API call, the HTTP call, because we have the content ready which needs to be sent to actually create a user object. I mean, at least the chat room. So that's what we have right now. So what do we need? Let's do that. We need to now bind the create button. So you already have the create button. So if you need to disable this first, if there is no entry in both of it, both of it is mandatory. So we need to enable and disable. It's the same thing which we've been doing all across in different sections. Even in login we did that. So we can just say it should be coming as an output. So I can just say enable sign up, enable create. It's again a driver boolean. It's pretty simple if you already know how to do this. And then I go here and I'm gonna use the let enable driver should be using the input of chatroom name. I'm gonna combine both. It's a driver.combine latest, so it's going to combine both of these values, input this value and input dot subject, and I'm just gonna combine both of that. I can just say $0 and $1. So both of these should be as enable driver. It needs to type driver bool, and I can just pass enable driver as enable driver. Always. Okay, this should be enable create. Still this has an issue. Okay, I can always map it and then say $0 and $1. Okay, dot is empty. That's the thing which is missing. So maybe again we can do it. dollar, we need to check for $0 whether that is empty or not. Empty. Is empty. If not empty is what we are checking. If both are not empty, and there is one more check we need to be careful about, because I think we just passed this value without validation. That subject can come with that placeholder value, which we know we don't want that to happen. So let's go back and correct that one. So whatever you are passing over here in the view controller, we need to modify that. So subject is checking, we need to block it over here, not block, but then we need to actually do a guard and send a value which is not this one. So let me do that. Rx dot text or empty. So this is, after this we need to do apply a map. So that map is going to be like map, nothing but we are just comparing that placeholder value. If placeholder value is the value, then okay, let's capture that subject placeholder in. So whatever we do is guard $0 is that value which is coming through this subject text view. We are just checking if it is subject placeholder, both are the same. We need to just check whether these are not the same. If it is the same, we just need to return empty value. That means you should not send a subject placeholder value to as a signal. If the value which is there in the placeholder is the subject, if the values there which is in the subject text view is a placeholder, we just send empty because that is the proper value. And we are also checking the is empty at the other end to enable the create button. So anyway, create is not going to happen, otherwise we can always send this $0. It's already giving. Okay, I need to convert this driver. It's giving me an error. Why is it giving me an error? This is mapping properly. I'm just returning 0 or returning this else. This is fine. What seems to be the issue? I think I just can drive with the never. That should be fine. Why? I think it's an IntelliSense issue. Let's check. Yeah, it's an IntelliSense check. So I'm just converting that into a driver and sending it. So this is something we need to do, because anyway if it needs to map, the placeholder values are and the text entry are different, then I can send it to as a signal. Otherwise I need to send it as an empty. Now let's see. Enable create is there. We need to also bind that in the view controller. Go to the setup binding, and I'll say self.presenter.output.enable. I can always drive it. I'll say self.button create button dot rx dot is enabled. So if it is true, it is going to get enabled. If it is false, it's not going to get enabled. Disposed by bag. So it should be fine, I guess. Let's test this once. I think we have merged it end to end. All that we need to now say is that button should be disabled. It's disabled perfectly fine. Once you start entering something here, nothing should happen. Now it should enable. Yes, perfect. And even if it is there is a text entry, it's not enabling because it's identifying it as a placeholder text. So it's not enabling. So even this is now disabled. All of them are now disabled. So now the next step is to create this, which is going we have the entry which is required to create a new chat room. The only thing that we need as a dependency is to also have the who is the creator, which anyway is the profile user who is logged in. So we already have that info within the account interactor. We are going to consume that here for creation. Now we are going to do this part where on tap of this, it's going to create a new chat room. It's not going to get reflected over here as soon as we create it. That's where we bring that WebSocket part where it allows you to sync it. So let's do that.